Oh, Drake. I'm Leah Dubs, and I'm a writer. That's it. Drake is undeniably one of the most influential artists of his time. It often leaves me wondering, how can an artist as successful as Drake end up with the social credit score of a meme? I decided to listen to my favorite Drake album, If You're Reading This, It's Too Late, and try and discover what it is about Drake that is so unlikable. In this process, I also accidentally discovered why it is that I always feel like a failure. I want to talk through some of the common Drake critiques that I hear and try and line this up with some of the character rapper characteristics that I discovered in listening to this album. If you're reading this, it's too late. First and foremost, I feel like Drake, the character rapper, not the person, is a caricature of a rapper. If you ask someone who either doesn't like rap music or doesn't know much about it outside of what they hear in the media, they will say things like rap is flashy and misogynistic and morally irresponsible or philosophically hollow. Drake, the character rapper, embodies all of these characteristics. I specifically use the word caricature because he seems to really embrace all of the stereotypes of a rapper and wears it like a heavyweight belt. Now, what I found interesting about this aspect of his expression is that as a rapper, the caricature is who Drake is. It's a very hard concept for me to explain in words as I was doing mental gymnastics and mind bending my way around this album. But if you think about, for example, an actor or an actress and you see them play a role, and the reason they can be so convincing in this role is because they adopt that character so much that you believe that role that you're seeing. And that is an art form, to embody this personality that may or may not be who you are and really adopt that as your own. And I do feel like Drake does this in his music as a rapper. Although some of the words that he actually uses or the sentiments that he actually expresses are not uncommon for other rappers to use, he doesn't really seem to offer a reason for why he's this way. A motive. There's nothing really behind it besides I'm just this guy and I'm having a fun. I am a rock star. I can compare this easily, as for an example, to a rapper like Eminem, who is a jerk, but is making it very clear that he is responding to his traumas. He is seeking vengeance and he has a very specific mission with why he behaves the way that he behaves. Usually with these themes, these stereotypical themes, as you listen to the music, you understand that these feelings or these expressions are coming from some sort of grounding place. Drake is just Drake. He's just the guy just storming into the room. Hey, where the hoes at? I'm no judge. I'm not a rap critic, so I'm not here to say if it's right or wrong. I'm just here to say it is what it is. So this is why I use the word caricature. This bleeds into one of the common critiques that I hear is that his music, he's not being authentic. His music is empty. It doesn't have any depth to it. And I think it's because this caricature is so intense. When I'm listening to the songs in this album, it's every bar is some sort of reference to him being the man. Another artist that is that I like to compare him to a lot because Kanye and Drake both have these massive egos. Even Kanye's ego, he expresses that he feels like this is his duty to be this way, that he has an obligation to be this grandiose figure. I couldn't forget about Kanye. I had to throw that in because that was an important comparison. Another common critique that I hear about Drake is that he's soft. So Drake does not brag about coming from some tough upbringing, some tough background, because he offers no explanation as to why he is the way that he is. But he also doesn't make it a point to be a direct opposite. Instead, he is sort of in this middle ground where he is asserting his massive amount of confidence that borders along arrogance with very threatening language. It's very clear he has no intention of being a nice guy. In fact, he sort of enjoys being the person that you hate. So he's got this really loud personality. He's got this really loud voice. Even his face, I mean, he has this huge smile that takes up half of his face. He even yells. As the way he spits, it sounds more like he's yelling than he is rapping. Everything about him is larger than life. And I think that most people are okay with that. But what irritates people about Drake is just the way that he displays this. Now, how is it that this music has made me realize why it is that I feel like a failure? Although it may seem simple to draw the logical conclusion that listening to Drake's music helps me realize why I feel like a failure, because he has this huge, larger than life personality, and I'm working at a grocery store scrubbing floors and crying because nobody's reading what I write. But it's much more nuanced than that. When I listen to Drake's music, what intrigues me the most is his willingness to be that guy. Truthfully, it is really inspiring. On his album, if you are reading this, it's too late. He has songs where he's not being this guy. He does try to be well-rounded. That's not what he does best. It's just not. His best music, the music you can't turn off, the music that you turn up instead of off, is this music where he's being this caricature, where he's being this grand actor of a rapper. I'm not saying if it's right or wrong. I'm not saying if it's right or wrong. I'm just listening. This very long point that I'm trying to make is that ask any artist, a painter, a songwriter, a dancer, martial artist, any artist will tell you that creative freedom, the state of flow, is absolute nirvana. So it's really hard for me not to see the flow in another artist and not give that mad respect, even if I don't like what they're doing in that flow. And I admit for myself that I am not a fan of Drake the caricature or the caricature. I'm not a fan of either. This personality, the actual words that are coming out of the speakers as he's shouting these bars, and sometimes even the delivery, I find personally offensive. It does rub me the wrong way, but I can't help but have respect for that creative flow space. And that to me is what makes his music irresistible. That's what makes his music good. Before I would try to listen to a Drake song and try to understand what it is why do people like this so much, including me when I don't want to admit it. And I found myself sometimes even more frustrated by trying to find answers to that and maybe even liking him a little bit less. But when I dug into why people don't like him, I found so much inspiration for myself. Part of what is so frustrating for me on my artistic journey as a person who has self-published a book and has written 2 book drafts and has had 3 blogs and has had YouTube channels and all of these things, I've not been able to get people to read it. As a person who has gone through that, I can sort of frame my experience in a more realistic way and recalibrate myself, and understanding that what I really want is creative freedom. This is why I show up every day at my computer screen or on my phone or with a pen and pad. This is why I show up, because what I'm craving is that expression. If Drake's music is a script of his life, then yes, maybe he's misogynistic and annoying and obnoxious and all of these things and just this person that nobody likes. Or music is just his playground, and in real life he's a nice guy and a great dad. We have no idea. Nobody watching this video probably can say for sure. But what is true is that he has found his lane. He has found success in discovering what it is that makes him flow. It's the vibe that he claims that comes from his heart and soul that he puts into his music. That to me is the true inspiration, and that is why I think that Drake reaches a lot of people. That is why I think he is such an influence. As I'm making these YouTube videos, it has been such an amazing journey to listen to it with the intent of making a video, because it changes the way that I listen to the music. But it has been such an amazing journey to listen to music this way and to gain a lot of inspiration, because I think that studying artists can really teach us a lot about ourselves. Ultimately, knowing yourself, that is the key to life. There's only one key, and that key is knowing yourself. This video was brought to you by my Substack publication. I just recently started a Substack publication. It is called Rap Stands. If you enjoy this content, this video and other related type of contents will be on my Substack and uploaded in more detail with some actual examples of songs as me showing my work. I'm going to put a link to my Substack publication, rapstands.substack.com. Please click that link and type in your email address to receive weekly newsletters from me, written by me, about this same subject in music in general, specifically rap artists, and all the things that they teach us about life. Please get in the comments and let me know what your thoughts are on Drake. He is very polarizing right now, so my admission to liking his music has nothing to do with what is going on in his personal life. I don't care, I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. Thank you, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye and namaste.